starting a family, a new job, or a project are all examples of new beginnings. In life, we all have our battles to fight and our beginnings to start. Hello, my name is Fatima. I'm from Venezuela and I live in Krakow, Poland. Today, I will share with you a chapter of my personal story. I must start by telling you that I'm not a stranger to new beginnings. When I was a teenager, I moved to the United States to study and play volleyball. I was so excited about this opportunity that I even forgot I didn't know how to speak any English. Yet, my biggest worry was solved by thinking, I guess I will back and see what happens. This same principle I applied for different beginnings in my life. When I moved to Ireland, when I moved to Poland. Principle that I forgot when I started this chapter. Standing in front of you, I must confess my surrender, not as a sign of defeat, but as a sign of transformation and growth. I gave up the weapons of fear and sorrow. I gave up the weapons of confusion and rejection. And I decided to keep the weapons of love, reconciliation, hope, and present. When I was a child, kids at school bullied me for my short afro hair. They called me microphone head. 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, as they tapped the top of my head. For this reason, I kept my hair long and straight, hiding my curls, hiding my afro. It wasn't until last year when the effects of my chemotherapy treatment made me miss my hair. Not only did my curls disappear, but also my eyelashes, my eyebrows, making me question my femininity. These are common experiences associated with the word cancer and the diagnosis of a metastatic breast cancer. The first time I saw my oncologist was in February 2020. That moment made me realize how little I knew about cancer. I'm very familiar with this word because my mom has been fighting it for the last several years. I was surprised. It hit me. How can I know so little about this? I compared this moment to how I felt the first time I watched an American football match. I was there, I watched the match, I was cheering when my team was scoring, I screamed at the referee when he made a bad call against my team, but because that was what a person's supposed to do. Honestly, I had no idea what I was watching. I was just there. Playing volleyball has always been my passion. I know how to move in the court, I know what to expect, I can study my opponent. On the game of life, it's very different. I'm forced to play. It's not enjoyable. It makes the challenge a lot harder. The only thing you know about your opponent is the speed in which it moves and its overwhelming power to destroy you. The year 2020 came determined to move things around, not only for me, but for everyone in this planet, with a pandemic situation that affected us all. COVID-19 teamed up with cancer to be the biggest opponent I have ever had to confront. Suddenly, unintentionally, I was there, in the middle of the court. I don't know how I got there or why I was there. The only thing I knew was I could not even blink my eyes. It was metastatic cancer. I had to play fast and without hesitation. I was unaware of my own potential to beat this opponent until one day I got lost in the forest. Halfway through my chemotherapy treatments, I learned that I could help my body a little bit every day. So I went for a walk in the forest and I got lost. My body was telling me that I could only walk for 20, maybe 25 minutes maximum. My body was tired, asking me to stop. My vision got blurred a few times, but I could not stop. I ended up walking for over an hour. When I finally got home, I said to myself, this is it. Tomorrow I'm gonna be too tired, I won't be able to walk. The next day, Surprisingly, I was full of energy, even more energy than I had the day before. Then I asked myself, Fati, why didn't you get lost before? Perhaps I was lost before and I didn't know it. What is important is that I found myself. I found my way home. And my energy increased as a result of getting lost in the forest. Recently, I read the words of the Nobel Prize winner, George Wall. He said, given so much time, the impossible becomes possible. Possible, probable, and the probable, virtually certain. For me, what this means is that time is in us. What's possible is in us. The truth is in us. But we're too busy in our daily routines to have time to ourselves. I don't mean to cover the sun with one finger and now say, yeah, cancer is wonderful because I had time to myself. No. It is a very extremely painful experience. But it was amazing, all the things I discovered during the way. It is fantastic to look in the mirror and smile because I have been reborn. Now, I love and appreciate myself a lot more than I ever did before. Speaking of love, it's a very well-known word, a feeling that we must water daily, like a small seed until it grows to be a big oak tree. During this process, I learned that I needed to give myself more self-love, to put myself as a priority. Love can touch us all, no doubt, and it can be experienced in different ways. I was crying before my chemotherapy treatment. It is okay to cry. It was a way to drain my emotions that were hanging in my head and in my chest. I promise you I didn't cry before radiation, but I did cry before my mastectomy. I was in the operation room, and tears were rolling down my cheeks. In a way that I could not control, the surgeon asked me, "Why are you crying?" I didn't know how to respond. I said I was nervous. But I was going to wake up without having my left breast, and it's something horrifying just to think about. The surgeon, with her hands, dried my tears. And that moment generated in me a feeling of love and peace that I cannot even describe. That was all I needed. The feeling of the warm hand that will allow me to feel confident. The truth is that I was crying because I expected something horrible after surgery. But I was crying before time. When I woke up after surgery, I felt okay. I looked at my scar and I realized I was beautiful, much more beautiful of what I could ever imagine. I was happy, well, as happy as I could be for that situation, and I didn't cry anymore. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, I was by myself for 2 days at the hospital. Those hands that dried my tears before surgery showed me what else they were capable of beyond medicine. That moment that only lasted a few seconds increased in me the faith in that invisible force that is always around us. I'm not talking about religion, but I do believe in kindness. And that single moment increased my faith in love. Cancer. Whew, what a world this is! Nothing new. Millions of people around the world live with it and has multiple variations. Some of us can turn this world into a possibility. Yes, the possibility of being reborn and returned to life. When you have cancer, you know you have options. You have the support of the modern medicine, ancient medicine, your family, friends, your beliefs. But above all, you have yourself. And it's up to you if you want to live in the inner chaos or if you want to embrace the process and learn as you go. Of course, you don't have to have cancer to rediscover yourself, to be reborn. For this, you only need to take a walk in the forest and get lost for a while. I have traveled this way for over a year now. My mother is unaware of my experience, not because I don't want to tell her, but because in this road, some of us have the privilege to have a good and healthy recovery, and some other people, the recovery road, it's a lot harder. Today, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm happy with what I see. Even if I don't have my breast, it is okay. Because I understood that it's a lot more important to be healthy. My afro, it's growing back, and I don't want to strengthen it anymore. At the age of 32, I learned how to do my makeup, thanks to my Puerto Rican friend who showed me over their phone. I reconnected with people that I haven't talked in years. Absolutely everything was transformed when I opened myself and I believed in me. Everything was transformed. I believe I could go out on the streets with my bald head, knowing that there is people staring and kids pointing. I believe there is a world inside and outside me that deserves my attention, that deserves to be observed and appreciated. A world that's full of dreams and desire. Dreams that can only come true if I'm at peace with myself. My story is being shared with millions of people that experience or are experiencing cancer. We're all from different parts of the world. We're all from different ages. We're all an open book worth reading. We may have similar or different endings, but one thing that we all have in common is that we touch the people that care about us. In order to win this battle, I decided to give up my fears and my ego, and I opened up the space for reconciliation, hope, and love. Let's live today. Let's live the moment. Let's embrace the present. Thank you.